Yes, we're back with another episode of the Still Manchester podcast. This time we're at NQ House and I'm joined by the legendary SLAY.
Yes, what you're saying, you good?
I'm good, mate. Absolute Manchester legend.
Legend.
We invented a new one then.
I like
Absolute Manchester legend and one of the best to touch mic in the UK. Thanks for coming on. I know we've been trying to get this sorted for a minute.
Yeah, I missed the last one, innit? So I apologise for that one. This would have been done a long time ago, but I swear I missed the last one.
You know, I think it was last year we were looking to do it, but it makes it all the more, wonderful now that you're on, because after the year that you've had.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
What a year, man. Banger after banger, big shows, and you charted.
Who'd have thought?
18 weeks in the charts.
It's mad.
Madness. So yeah, what's the reception been like? For those who don't know, it was a tune with Boo, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? I try to stay grounded, so I'm not really. I just hush all that noise out. It's been good. Like obviously, everyone's saying well done and everything is amazing, and I'm grateful for all of it. But not without sounding big-headed, it's been normal.
Because of the effort and the work that you've been putting in, it's like that recognition.
Yeah.
It's just, I suppose, it's just the sweet spot of when you dropped that and how did it actually come about, that tune?
It's a mad one because I just so happened to be recording with Boo a bit. Like maybe that week was recording a lot, and that day we wanted to have a break from the studio. So we went for something to eat or whatever, and we just ended up being we go to the studio. Do you know what I mean? And then that tune just happened, and it's weird because I feel like obviously because it's had commercial success. And I feel like some people imagine that we went in a studio and said let's make a commercial song. Or
I heard it was a bit of a challenge. Like somebody said, "Can you sample this?"
Yeah, the guy that was in the studio with was just like, "You should." It wasn't a challenge. He just said, "You should sample this." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was all like, "Yeah." Do you know what I mean? And then obviously I was drunk or whatever. I don't know. I just done what I've done on it. Usually I probably wouldn't even have wrote that song. Do you know what I'm saying? And then Boo.
The best ones sometimes though, happens quick.
Trust me. And then Boo released it, which was it doesn't normally.
Yeah.
Especially straight from, it was the next day we recorded it and the next morning it was on SoundCloud. So when I woke up it was just on SoundCloud. I rang Boo saying, "Yo, take this song down. What are you doing?" Yeah. And he's gone slain, the numbers have gone mad. Yeah. So yeah, we ended up keeping it.
From him uploaded it onto that, I read an interview with him recently and he said that his manager was just getting call after call from different labels just from that SoundCloud.
I didn't know at first when he's like, "Yo, we've had major label interest," and I'm like, "Yeah, sick."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, "Yo, sick." Do you get what I mean? Yeah. And then it was about a week after that, it was there was one person coming from one label coming down to check us, then another person, and then like I said, we was already in the studio recording. So when they come in and they're listening to the other songs, they're like, "Yo,
wow,
yous have got loads of bangers," and they're just we're chilling. Do you know what I'm saying?
Normal.
Yeah, it's normal. Do you get what I mean? So
yeah. No, that's amazing. Who did you end up going with in the end? Was it Island Records that tune came out?
Yeah, it came out on Ireland.
Sick,
but
big moves.
Most labels, most majors you can think of were there. Yeah, so it was sick.
That's mad, that. But it does take you back to... I want to talk about all the different labels that you have been working with, because especially within the drum and bass industry, you've been dropping tune after tune, and it's all with different labels, different artists. You've really been networking. I just wanted you to take us back to your Croatia trip and what happened and why it sort of changed the game for you.
We're talking about Outlook. Been twice.
So I was thinking the time that you weren't booked for anything.
Nah. Oh yeah. Wait. Was that 2017? It might have been 2017.
Was it that long ago?
I went to 2019 as well though. Well, I'm pretty sure it was 2017, maybe. But I know the time you're talking about. I basically Chimpo and everyone, obviously a big part of me doing drum and bass is because of Chimpo. So they was all and Block to Block as well. They was all booked out there, innit? And I had the opportunity to go there, but I wasn't booked or anything. But obviously, I've been MCing for ages, innit?
Yeah.
So people like just assuming if Slay's there, he's booked,
It should
innit?
be on mic,
Yeah, do you get what I mean? So, but nah, that weren't the case. I went out there. And when I went there, I ended up doing about 7 sets, yeah. And one of them was, I wish I remember what stage it was. Basically, it was Critical stage, innit, at Outlook. And Fox was Fox was hosting it. And I think Chimpo was playing. It might have been Chimpo and Bingo.
Yeah.
They were playing, and I seen Fox, and obviously I'm backstage, whatever, because I had a backstage pass or whatever, because you know what I mean.
You know what you do.
yeah.
You know what he is.
And Fox is like, "Yo, Slay, like, yo, come do this set with me, innit?" So I was like buzzing, innit? I was like, "Yeah, come then." Do you know what I mean? So we did it. And then that. No, actually, this was 2019.
I was thinking what it was.
Definitely, this was 2019. So we did it, and then that's when I think Kazra must have first been aware of what I was doing or who I was, and then off the back of that, I released Let It Slide on Critical. And before that, I'd released tunes with Chimpo and that, and of it, but because Chimpo's my mate and that, to me, it's like that's just friends releasing music.
Yeah,
so when I released that on Critical, for me, it was like the first like
that felt like your
kind
first
of
drum and
recognition in the scene.
Okay,
like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So big up Kazra for that one still.
No, I think it's a proper cool little story that though, like, and the fact that so many of your working relationships now and the people you're dropping music with now, it came about from that trip, and you just putting yourself in that position.
It's
and
crazy.
Just saying, yeah, I'm on mic, and yeah, that's the best way to do it sometimes, isn't it?
It opened my eyes to a lot of things, because I used to think like investing in yourself is like music videos and whatever, you know, stuff like that. But I think like if I never took the time out to go to Croatia without thinking I should be getting paid or whatever, just to do it, you know what I mean?
Sometimes it's got to be outside, haven't you? And that's the thing.
Be right in front of people. With social media now, it's easy to think if I send 100 DMs, so yeah, that's cool, and you might get to talk to someone. But when people actually stand in front of you and can take you through who you actually are, it's easier to build a connection like that, isn't it?
You can't beat that, like, to see what an artist or an MC is like proper about. You can't beat seeing them in front of a crowd and seeing what they can do, and seeing them work with a DJ, and seeing if like when that next drop comes in, can they catch it? And you can't. That's the sort of stuff. It's not even taught. That's just like
even just like everyone, even like a person. You can't beat, like, you can chat to someone online for as long as you want. You can meet them in person and be like,
yeah, you found that today, didn't you? Thought I was all right before this.
Fucking hell, I'm only joking. But nah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think some people need to like maybe think about the way they're investing and what they're doing. If you've got a favourite DJ or a favourite MC that you want to bump into, just try and be at every single night they're at. Try and end up in a smoking area next to them. Things like that. That's investing in yourself. More than you'd know it, do you know what I mean? Just be in front of people all the time, innit? And maybe that's what I did. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? I knew how to get on the mic and whatever. You have to have some talent behind that, but you just have to show people. If you're not there in front of them, they're gonna forget about you, innit?
True. And that's when it comes down to like whether you actually, like you say, invested in yourself. And right place, right time, and that's what makes things happen, innit?
But I will say, I didn't think of it as invested in myself at the time.
No,
I was just doing it.
Yeah. It's only sometimes when we look back and think, oh, that was a good move. But sometimes you weren't even, you know, one mad random night out might turn into the time that you met, you know, somebody you're going to have a close relationship with and make loads of music with, but you didn't know that at the beginning. It's just about networking, innit? And being true to yourself and just having genuine conversations, like you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what are some of the other labels that you've been working with, just to sort of massive ones, V Recordings, Critical, North Quarter? I'm trying to get up to the sort of how it came about with Hospital.
Well, I think from when I worked with Critical, I kind of reckon like it put me on the radar for. Let It Slide was the first tune that had 1 million streams, by the way.
Really? The first one?
I think that was the first tune to hit 1 million streams. So that did really well really early. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It took a while, but it was the first one in it that done really well really early. So, and obviously, I had no trust with Chimpo and DRS. So straight away from the start of my career, like, I feel like people were like, okay, who's that?
Yeah.
And because I kept doing it, it was like, oh, now he's on Critical. Then I had a tune with Lensman. And do you know what I mean? And Lensman's, you know what I'm saying? So it was like I was working with the heavy hitters from the start, innit?
Lensman was on that release as well. The one with the Hospital Records release was the ultra part of the ultrasound series, innit? So who did we have on that? We had Chimpo Slater.
Lensman. We had Chimpo and Slater, just Chimpo tune, Lensman, and just a Slater tune.
So how, when you were sort of writing that EP, putting it together, was that you sort of showcasing yourself within that sort of like drum and bass music? Because you've done a few little singles, and then for this one, was it like, let me show what my sort of style is on this?
But I didn't write that EP as an EP.
Right.
Hospital approached me and said, we've got this, and it's a 4-track thing, and I had songs already, so I put them together for that. So that's how that one come about. But to be fair, I think because of the people, like I said, because of the people that I was working with, and I ended up on Hospital, I'd like to. It's a project, but I don't feel like I've done like an actual project yet.
Yeah, that's something.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that was just 4 tunes. Probably not this year, you know, because I say that then, but then I record loads in it. But in my head, I'm like, there's a lot more groundwork I want to do before I have like a debut like project.
Do you record daily?
Nah, not daily, but.
How many times a week are you in the studio? It's a lot.
If I can be, I like it at least twice a week, yeah. If I can be. But then it's like, it happens in stages. So I'll have a week where I've got 3-4 studio sessions.
Yeah.
And then I might have 2 weeks where I'm not in the studio. But then what I do is like, I got local guys in it. So then I'll go and do a writings camp or whatever somewhere, whether it's for a hospital or Crewcast or, you know what I mean, whatever. But then when I'm not doing that, like my Slater lives down the road.
Yeah.
So I'll just be like, yo, Slater, what you on? And he's very reliable. He'll be like, yo, nothing, just come through.
Yeah.
So right now, since this year started, I'm saying we've got at least 8 tunes or something that we've done. But then a lot of these tunes don't come out. But the way that I see it is like training, innit? It's like being on the ball, innit?
Yeah, like a swordsman.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because it's easy to get rusty, innit?
Yeah.
Miss a month or 2 weeks and you're like, do you know what I mean?
And you never know, I suppose. Like, there's probably some tunes that you record, sit on them, and then it'll be the right time for
That's the beauty of music. Like, that's what, like the tune with Boo Closer, like, to me personally, I wouldn't have said that's my favourite tune that I've done.
No.
So, but who am I? It's the biggest tune I've done by far. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And you don't know what you're gonna make when you go to the studio. So that's why I'm always trying to just be in the studio, because you never know what you're gonna do that day and where it's gonna take you with it.
Yeah, man, definitely. Did you mention writing camps then? That's an interesting one. I don't know if everybody will like really know what that is and what that's about. So can you just explain a bit about writing camps? Was that the hospital, did you say?
Well, I think probably writing camps are probably different within a genre of music, I reckon. The ones that I'm talking about is a drum and bass writing camp. It's basically a label will rent a studio for a day or whatever, or 2 days, studio space, and then they'll pick 5 or 6 artists, or maybe a lot more if there's a lot more studio space, and they'll just spend a day. They call it a writing camp, because obviously everyone's chipping in ideas, but it's basically just a big studio session where you create as much songs as you can. And then the way that it seems to work, or as observed, is that they'll own the music made out of that session. So that's what it is. That's basically a writing camp. But I like it because you get to see how other people work, and it's a really good way to, like I said, being in front of people. If you're in a room with artists you've never been in, you spend the whole day with them, then they know you. That, you know what I mean? So it's a good way to network as well.
I suppose you end up working with people who you might usually not as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, different sounds.
I'm very Manchester based, innit? So until I started doing things like that, and I was never really in the studio with anyone different than the people that I always knew. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is you always learn on people you don't know, innit?
Have you ever felt like, maybe not so much now, but like maybe at other times of your career, have you ever felt like maybe I need to move to make things work more, to make things like for there to be more going on within certain areas?
Right now.
Oh, is it? No,
But I wouldn't know.
When you were a bit younger, like obviously after the Mayhem days and stuff, were you ever thinking like, do I need to go London to sort of be part of this UK thing?
Do you know why?
I'm glad you said no.
Do you know why? Nah, because when we was growing up, especially with grime music as well, it was like money, like fuck anywhere else or whatever. So I've never felt like I needed to be somewhere else to be something, but I've always felt, since I've got older and I've learnt more about life, I understand that being around different cultures and different people that you're not used to is the only way you can learn, innit? Like, I've been around Manchester my whole life. I know the way we think. I know the way. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I go over, even the difference between grime and drum and bass has shown me such a different mindset. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I have thought about being away, but not necessarily because I need to make it. Just.
And look, the thing is, everybody's got their own journey, hasn't they? So there's not, sometimes that might work for other people, but for you to then chase that, that might not be you sticking to like what you're actually about, and at the end of the day, like, you wouldn't think it, but the way that the sort of, especially in drum and bass, the way that everything's sort of like built up within Manchester over the past probably 8 years or whatever, and then connections that they've then got with like the more professional scene and the wider scene. It's like, it is the place to be. Like, you know, if it's not there, build it.
Yo, you know what I've realised? You saying that though, in any scene at the minute, yo, like when I look at the music, and whether people want to say it or not, whether the artists are as big as the other artists from the other places, like, it's popping in, man. Like, we're kind of dictating what's going on. Not for everything, but I'm listening to the artists in money, and I'm listening in different genres, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's getting to a point where it's hard to ignore, innit?
That's it, and it's like, why should things be, you know, we've had this conversation for a long time, but things don't have to be capital city centric, things don't have to be London centric, and you see people Americans looking over at Manchester and going, oh yeah, you know,
what, one thing I will give,
a tune with American guy, and it's nuts.
One thing I will give London, and like down south, is even if like they say like there's bare talent in money, but you see what they know in London, they're about their business, innit? They know how to make something out. We've got endless amount of talent, but no one's making a bean. So what's the point in it? Do you know what I'm saying? I know some extremely talented people, and I'm like, how are you not rich?
But circumstances.
Whereas I know people from down south that ain't that sick, but they've made. Yo, that's a skill in itself, innit? So you can't really put them down, man. They're hard workers, man.
You know, you've been doing all right, Slay.
Recently, and that's because of my mindset, though, innit? And remember, I'm lucky enough. There's not a lot of people that start as early as I did, have an opportunity like I had, and then get it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm lucky enough now to be like, bro, I've been egotistical, thinking I'm sick, thinking I'm the guy. So this time, like, I'm a bit more, I know what I'm doing a little bit. And I'm not doing it for no reason, so if I ain't getting no dough, I'm like, I ain't going, like, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas back in the day, I just wanted to MC. I'm a sick MC. I want to show everyone. Whereas I kind of know what I'm good at now. And if you want me to do it, it's got to make sense.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean?
You're right, though. And just to go back to that hospital release as well, just because it's
ultrasound.
Yeah. Badman MC tune.
Yeah.
That first verse, like, literally, like, better than anyone else could, just explains your journey and that kind of thing. And I just wanted to know a little bit more about, you touched on it a little bit before, but when you say the difference between, like, grime scene and maybe the rap scene as well, and like drum and bass scene, like, what is it that you're talking about? Like, is it the way that you've had to switch up your writing styles and how's that changed, or is it more the way that you navigate the industry and like what that side of the music is like?
The people.
It's the people
more than anything. Yeah, and I'm not saying that in drum and bass, like, everyone's yay kumbaya, because every scene's got its downsides. But the bad thing with the thing that I didn't like about grime is I feel like it's one of those ones where the better you are, the harder it is for you to get involved. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that everyone wants...
You've personally, from my perspective with you, you've completed it.
What in money? For what?
Yeah.
For what? Yeah, like, if I say that though, guys are sending for me. I can't. This is what I'm trying to talk about. I can't say none of that stuff. Though I can't say it. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I mean, you're
there's nothing left to do. Yeah.
Like, you're the only guy from Manchester on that.
Do you know what I mean? And there's only a few other people that could have been on it. Even. Do you know what I mean?
And
so,
you know.
Yeah.
I don't always want to go back to talking about what you were making in your late teens, early 20s and stuff, but like I don't think it's very hard to explain to people if you weren't around at that time, like how big you lot were.
Yeah, and
it's very hard to explain.
And how hard it was to have that impact back then. It worked like it was hard. Like even when the video was on telly to watch it, you had to text in 99p text. Yes. Just to watch it, and then you had to wait to see it, because if you missed it, innit? Like, that was mad. But yeah, I don't like talking about it either, because there was a time when I didn't mind, but I felt like because the space of time between me doing anything as big as that was like getting wider and wider, it started to feel like to myself like that's the only thing I had to speak about, innit? Yeah. So I thought like I'm just going to refrain from talking about it and trying to achieve things today, innit?
Well, it must be mad though, like it's mad for me because like, I literally like grew up listening to your project, Listen and Learn project, like in my stack of CDs, like next to G Unit and next to everyone else, and it's like, you know, I didn't know who you were. I knew you were from near where I was from, but I don't. And it's mad because obviously I'm just one person, and you were that to so many different people. And like you and Wrigley for me were like at the time like.
I'm grateful for it, man. I wouldn't change a thing. And as I get older as well, I get more and more grateful because at the time I didn't realise like what it meant to people, innit? And still to this day I get people saying like, no way, like, do you know what I mean? I grew up listening to you.
You cost me 50 quid when it was lockdown, and then at the time Hit and Run were doing like.
Oh yeah, like was it Chimbo's birthday live stream?
And I was at home and you were on the mic and I'm going, if he does Who's This Boy, I'm sending 50 pounds.
That's mad.
You go, Who's This Boy?
You sent 50 quid?
Yeah,
that's
50 quid. Yeah, obviously it was rich at that point during lockdown. You won't be getting it now.
I was about to say that's a lot that like, for a real.
You know, some of them things was like locking your head, them verses locking your head, and you don't forget them, and they're just kind of timeless in it, and that's what
it's painful, man. Like
music is.
I love grime music, innit? Yeah. It's painful, but as you get older, obviously you have responsibilities and that. Mm-hmm. I've got a son and everything, and like I said, it's got to make sense.
Yeah.
Now, I love grime music. I still listen to grime and that. But when it comes to making it and getting out of bed and stressing over it and clashing, putting your personal business online for what? Some streams and views. I just can't be bothered. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. If we were rich, like, say we were Wiley and Skepta and all them lot, and they're clashing and they're getting dough for it. Diss me or you like me, I don't mind. Yeah. But when we just when it's you got to walk around your ends and not like your friends and that, what's the point, innit? It don't make, but there's no point.
I know. It's one of them though, innit? Like, I've never not listened to grime. I've never not listened to like all different sort of genres. But there was even a point where I wasn't too keen on drum and bass. Like, I've loved drum and bass, but the stuff that was coming out at that point, I wasn't feeling it as much. I was more into 140 stuff. And just being a music, like somebody who's into music, I think that's very normal, very natural. Like, it's okay.
You touched on it as well.
Where you want.
You touched on it. You said you feel like I completed grime, and that was another thing. When I started doing drum and bass, it felt like another test. It felt like a whole new
exciting
world to do. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair, I wouldn't have started doing it if I couldn't see myself somewhere. But I didn't think it would get to this fast. I was like you said last year. I think I felt like jumped to a load of levels dead quickly.
You did. But you know what? You've never switched up your style that much. Even if you did listen back to your stuff from years ago, even when you did them couple of grime projects with on Box and Lock with Chimpo, wasn't it? You listen back to that, like the way that you spit, because it's so like it's cool, it's calm, it's collected, it's like hard punchlines, but like you've you just set a level, and then it's literally like you've just been able to take that and apply it to drum and bass, and everyone's gone, whoa.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's mad because that's the I think that's the reason why I got so far in drum and bass.
Yeah.
I've always been aware of drum and bass, you know what I mean? I've always liked the music, but I've never been a big, massive fan of drum and bass in terms of I didn't grow up listening to drum and bass sets and having a favourite drum and bass MC. So my approach to drum and bass is well different to a drum and bass MC.
Yeah, it's kind of a good thing. You're not trying
it's the
to
best,
sound like, you're not
it's the
thinking,
best thing.
yeah, I don't sound like, I don't sound like Trigger, so maybe not. It's not for me. Or do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's a natural thing as well. So like, and I don't see it that much different from. It's two decks, there's a mixer, there's a DJ, there's a microphone, like it's just a tempo really. And if you call yourself an MC of any sort, then you should be able to spit on pretty much any tempo.
Yeah.
Because you're just speeding it up and slower and faster in it.
What is the sort of difference with writing bars?
I find drum and bass easier.
Yeah.
But I think that's because I've got into my mind, and this is not necessarily true, I've got into my mind that grime has topics, like, so there's certain types of things you spit about when, like, I spit at MC, I'm the coldest in the world, because I was doing that when I was young. I feel young when I'm writing a grime bar, but, like, if you listen to my drum and bass, I'm like, my little soldier and love songs and other things.
We talk about that as well. Go check that one out if you've not heard it.
Yeah,
What's
man.
it was produced with North Quarter, wasn't it?
That was with North Quarter, with Lensman, Little Soldier. Like, that's just a tune I just wrote solely about my son, where I thought if I'd done that in grime, it would either be seen as a little bit corny or a little bit cheesy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And as a man growing up, these are the things that you want to express in it. So I think it's easier for me to write on drum and bass just for that reason, innit?
It's a really sick tune, that.
How many times can you say you're sick?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, I'm the sickest. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we get it. Nah, but I'm sicker than I said last time. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
That Chica tune's really, really nice. You know what I mean? You've always thrown the little girls.
Yeah, I have, but it didn't get appreciated as much on grime.
Really?
It doesn't. People want to hear you saying, "I'm gonna spin this guy and whatever."
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But I see what you mean, and it sort of just opens up your world a bit, opens up different avenues. Yeah, that's a sick tune as well. Chica, Shogun Audio, that one.
That was with Shogun, and that was, to be fair, that was a Dusky song he asked me to feature on, so big up Dusky. I like that song, man. Yeah. I like that song a lot.
It's one of my favourite verses from you recently.
Yeah, someone else said that to me the other day, I can't remember who it was. She was saying the bars back to me.
Oh.
Yeah. She's like, but I was like, yo, when I wrote that, obviously I was seeing someone in it, so like, when she's saying the bars, I'm like, spit the bars to me, man. You know, it was pissing me off. Like. Obviously she didn't know, innit? She's just, I'm like, oh, fuck them bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck them bars, man.
Oh man, I know you touched on it before, but it's something that I wanted to talk about a little bit more. Chimpo, how instrumental has he been in your journey into drum and bass?
I just
want to give a bit of like background on that.
I wouldn't even say just drum and bass. I'd say in kind of like, I like to see it as like phases. Like maybe like the second phase of my life, Chimpo's helped a lot, because obviously I went from like, when I started doing grime was with Mayhem. Do you know what I mean? It was a big crew of us. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of us. And then I went from doing that to kind of like doing like my solo thing a lot. I had like the Energy Freestyle and like Money Legend and songs like that. And a Man Like songs. A few that I was doing like my solo thing before. Chimpo ended up with Levels and that, and they started killing it. And it was Chimpo and Chunky. I think they must have said to Rich, like, yo, cause I think they were getting called the best grime crew to come out of Manchester or something. And they said to Rich, like, yo, there's these guys that have been fucking smashing, like, these guys are the grime guys in Manchester, innit? And they shouted me and K1. Do you know what I mean? And from there, like, we've always, like, known each other or whatever, because Manchester's not that big, innit? But from there, like, it kind of opened my eyes to a whole different side of music that I wasn't really seeing. So from then, me and Chimpo just became tight. And to be fair, me, Chimpo and Chunky became tight. And then we done Met Body with Coco, and we just done a few Grime bits, and then he sent me the No Trust thing.
And the rest is history.
From there, yeah, like it was just, I would have never jumped on drum and bass with that kind of style. F Chimpo didn't send me that tune.
Yeah.
And I even done the verse. I big up DRS as well, because I done the verse, and I sent it back, and he sent it back, and he was like, "Yo, do it again, yeah? Well, you're doing it like a Grime MC." He said, "Just say it, just talk it, innit?"
Yeah.
So I said, "Sweet." So I must have just been like, "Me, I make the money, don't make me." And he's like, nah, you don't need to do that, innit? So I was just like, me, and then I done that, and then after that, yeah, I found my flow off, and yeah, that was it. Literally from that tune, yeah, that was it. That and Hurt Someone, them two tunes. After that, yeah, the rest was history. So big up Chimpo, man. Yeah.
And aside from Chimpo and Twunky, how I know that you're actually booked tonight to talk at History of Black Mancunian Music.
Pure talking today.
Yeah, I was just wondering, sort of, if you could expand a bit on how important, like, you know, Manchester music is to you. I know you mentioned before, like, that is mainly your main circle and like where the areas that you make music in. But, you know, I'm talking about, like, sort of the history of it. Who did you come up listening to? Who were your, like, sort of go-to people when you were younger from Manchester?
When I was younger, I'd say my music influences were kind of like, I'd say not my own, innit, but my dad was like a sound man and all that. And my older brother used to listen to a lot of American stuff. So I never really like had like UK influences like that. In fact, what I will say is the main influence, is probably Dizzy Rascal, Wiley, and Slimzy. They'd done a set on Sidewinder. Used to get the tape packs, and when I heard that set, I was like, I like music, but I'm not from New York, innit, so I weren't trying to do boom bap or rap, or I weren't trying to do that, innit. It just wasn't me. Weren't trying to put that accent on.
Yeah, man.
Come on, weren't trying to do all that. It just didn't. But then when I seen these guys, I was like, right, they're just like, do you know what I mean? They're just like us. So yeah, I'd probably say Dizzy Russell and Wiley and Slimzy.
Yeah, man, as the main sort of...
And then Grime was just like, I was like,
this
yo,
is the
I'm
thing, definitely for your era, like, it's hard, I suppose, to look back and say, that's when I consciously thought, right, I'm doing this music thing, like, you're my mentor, because it wasn't like that, was it? It was just, you know, there were so many people were on
there was no music.
You were so young, it was just day to day, innit?
There was no, like, big rappers or like it was today, like everyone, someone will say, oh, Digga D or this person or that person.
Or even more locally, like
H or someone, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas when I was coming up, like, and big up Trigger, the only MC that I kind of knew, or who like was an MC that people knew, no matter who you asked for, man, in a car, even if you didn't know who Trigger was, you knew them bars, innit?
Yeah, man, Shadow D, man.
Shadow D, you knew, innit? So other than Trigger, and then even then, like, he was locally known, but it weren't like he was on the telly or like, or for me anyway, it weren't like it was like there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we just had to inspire ourselves pretty much, do you know what I mean?
It's mad, innit, how much it's grown, and like you say,
it's crazy now.
A couple of the people who I believe have been like, you know, the biggest pushers, like DRS, Chunky, Chimpo, all of them, like it's been mad over the past 10 years, innit, and it's just set foundations for like.
It's rewarding, man.
Charting, do you know what I mean? It's nuts.
It's rewarding, like even seeing people like H and even Bugsy and people like that. Yeah, it's rewarding because it kind of makes me feel like what I did wasn't for no reason, innit? Like even though I wasn't doing it when I was doing it, I wasn't thinking I'm doing this or the younger generation. I wasn't thinking none of that. But to see that it's actually been able to happen, it's a good thing, innit? Cause
absolutely, man. It's amazing, and you know. The thing is, now you'll be travelling with your music, like, there's so many more options in it.
There was a period of time, in Manny, when I was like, who's after us, yo? Everyone else is dead. No, there was a few years where I was like, yo, everyone's dead. There was no one after us, innit? And then Bugsy come out, and I think before Bugsy, I think it was like 2015, Shifty crashed in 2009, and after that, music was just kind of dry. It was across the board. I think like the big guys were making like Strider, man, and like Rolex. The big guys, it went a bit poppy in it. Like, do you know what I mean? It was not cool to be an MC. If you say to people like, "What you want?" and be like, "I'll do music." Like, yeah, all right. Do you know what I'm saying? And then Bugsy came out. I can say, whether or no one else wants to agree, when Bugsy came out, everyone started spitting on that again. It was like everyone was like, "Yo, it's cool again." Everyone was trying again a bit more. Do you get me? And then not long after that, we had H, and then now it's sick. Like. Even we had, and then before that we had Gecko, had some success, you know what I mean? He blew up, DDB. Music's been on the up, but the younger generation have just skyrocketed.
And I think it's sick that Manchester's not tied to just the one genre.
That's what I mean, killing it across the board.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. So, touched on it a little bit before, but who have you been in the studio with recently? Who can we expect to hear music with? What was that video shoot you were doing last week?
When was it? Or what was it?
What was it, yeah?
I don't know. So my second tune, I've had I signed another single deal with a major in it. So I signed a deal with Sony RCA. I made a tune with Sigma called Kenny, and I think it's out on the 15th of March. We just shot the video last weekend. Sick.
What's the concept for the video? I seen you were just in the area.
Yeah, man. The concepts was pretty much, I wanted to kind of show both my sides, yeah, but without showing you that's what I'm doing in it. So there was scenes where like my local barbers, you know, the local food shop.
Yeah, nice.
And that was with like my friends that I grew up with, my Mayhem boys, some of them, do you know what I mean? My friends I grew up with. And then the other shot was like me in a venue, and it started off, well, it's just me in a venue with my drum and bass crew around me, surrounded around me. So it's like the two different sides of me growing up and how I am, you know, like the grimy side and then the drum and bass side.
Yeah, I love that.
That's kind of like what we wanted to portray. Sick. But yeah, man, it looks sick. It's definitely I've not seen it yet, but in terms of like the shoot and the way it went, like I've not shot a video. Gugs and Aaron are called. There's some guys from London. I never worked with them before. In fact, I don't think I've shot with anyone from London before ever. It's always been, I'm a community guy in it. So if I'm shooting a video and my boy shoots videos, then my boy's shooting a video. Do you know what I'm saying? I even had big up Jay Finesse. I had Jay at the video doing BTS. So I'm like, right, if these Sony people are making a video and I can bring my person there and make it, you know what I mean? You gotta make it happen, innit?
Think ahead. So that'll be your next tune out then? That'll
be my next single,
and then the previous one was Rain, wasn't it?
Yeah, City of Rain with Kazra. And even that, like, I like the fact that you brought up the critical thing, the release with Kazra, because one of the things, so when you do major label deals, sometimes you have like conditions where after the tune drops, you know, you can't release for this much a long length of time, or you can't do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
One of the things was mine's is only a single deal, so I'm not actually signed to a label, but they have like an option, and it's like it was 4 months or a few months either side that if you do a tune with another label, they get first dibs on it, and and you can't. Basically, if you're releasing, they get the say before you can put a tune out. But I had to get it put into the contract that I want to still release with the people I was always releasing with. Because in my eyes,
you don't want to be exclusive in it at the moment.
Nah, not even that. It's just that because they're independent labels in it, and the way that drum and bass is, it's like for me, if you're not releasing on the independent labels, at some point the fans are not going to care about. They're not going to care about your major label releases, is it?
Yeah, so they know the scene, they know it well.
Casual was there for me first, and I said, you know what, like it has to be somewhere in a contract that I can still release on these guys, because I'm not just going to start acting bougie, but you know what I mean?
No, I think the way that you have been playing it is perfect, and you should be able to carry on like that. Do you know what I mean? You want to be able to work with as many people as possible, drum as many different tunes.
Until it don't make sense. Like if it gets to a point where I can't, then I can't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if I've got some sales, some kind of control, then I'm gonna make it happen.
So just to kind of round it off, then what can we expect from you in 2024? So maybe not an EP, but are we going to see you more on the stage?
Never say never, man. Never say never. So I took a hit on performing. And this is nothing to do with my booking agents or anything. I just wasn't happy with. I just felt like I should be doing more than what I was doing in it. So
Yeah.
I took a hit on the shows to like I said I'm not no agent. Shout me if you need shows, but I'm in talks with getting a new agent. So this year it's about the singles and the shows. I'm trying to build the fan base in it so that when
Yeah.
I do drop a project, it's not falling on deaf ears, innit? Do you know what I
Should be
mean?
seeing you at some big raves this year.
Yeah, I should hope so.
You got many festivals lined up. I don't know if
This
you
is
know
what I'm
yet,
saying.
but
That's
yeah.
what I mean. I won't even know because of the way it works with the booking agencies and that. But I don't like to gas myself up. I don't like to like give goals for my tunes and that. But by the way, everyone's acting and saying, and people
You can feel it.
people seem to say that to be telling me this tune's gonna do really well. So I should imagine there should be a lot of shows in it.
100%, man. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for coming on and having
Thanks
a
for
quick
having
chat
us.
walk with us and that. And yeah, best of luck for the rest of the year. Can't wait to hear your new tunes. Can't wait to see what you've got in store. Definitely come catch you on a few big raves. Where can the people find your music? Where can they find you on socials?
Probably best to find me on Spotify, which is just Slay. Do you know what I mean? And wait, find me on Instagram, which is Man Like Slay. And the link will be in my bio for where you can find out my music and stuff like that. Instagram's probably the best place, but I'm on TikTok as well, Man Like Slay MCR. So follow me on that as well, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Safe man, thanks for having us.
Nice.